And it's good morning to you once again. It's Monday, the 25th of May, 2026. The program is On the Lord's Side, Christian Perspectives on News and Current Events. My name is Olufemi Oguntokun. You can follow me on X at Olufemi OG. You can follow Gospel Bells Radio on X at Gospel Bells Radio. I want to begin by engaging with at least two stories that should give us an indication of where the culture is, the trajectory of the culture here in Nigeria, and of course in many parts of the world. I would most likely add a third story to that. This first one, it says, woman ties rapper to work on company's work from home outfit day. Woman ties rapper to work on company's work from home outfit. And I do not know whether you came across that video, which was shared massively on some social media platforms in Nigeria over the last week. You look at these stories headline, and a number of things jump at you. Number one, there is a work from home outfit day. And of course, this is a sign of the times as well. You find many employers, maybe not the employers themselves, but many of the decision makers in many companies coming up with what they will call creative ideas, just to make, they say, let's make work more enjoyable. Let's make work more, or maybe less stressful. That would be the thinking behind it. And this is not trying to rain on HR practitioners who they have to apply their trade and justify their existence, I must say. But HR practitioners sometimes do too much. And I have a number of friends who are HR practitioners. I respect your discipline. I respect your contribution to the enterprise, which must not in any way be diminished in any way. We do appreciate your contribution, and it's a valid discipline indeed. But sometimes you look at what some HR practitioners propose to managers of businesses, and you just wince. Sometimes you're doing too much. For me personally, and this is just me speaking for myself, work from home outfit day is just doing too much. Because what is work from home outfit day? Now, how you dress when you are working from home. Because when you're working from home, you are not expecting to meet with your boss, not to meet with your colleagues. It's just you in your house, working, and as much as possible delivering on your targets. You have your KPIs for the day, for the month, and you're working to meet up with it. Of course, all these became even more compelling and apparent indeed during the COVID years, 2020, when it became apparent that we did not really need to go to work physically. When it became apparent that many tasks could actually be completed remotely. You could be in your house. If, as a lawyer, for example, I'm devoting a day to writing pleadings to be filed in court, when I do not need to actually be in my office to do that, I could be at home and sit behind my computer and have my books around and have access to resources online. And I would develop the pleadings that I need to develop and send it out, and somebody would file it. And for courts where you have e-filing, you could even file it over there. So all this became apparent. So the point is, when you're working from home, well, I would not need to put on a shirt and a tie. I would not need to put on a suit. I could just be in my pajamas, really, and there do my work. And so that gives an idea of what the work from home outfit day symbolizes. So now you have a blend, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm finding it hard to understand why any HR practitioner would propose a work from home outfit day. This is a merger of the two. You are not working from home. You have to come into the office, but you have to dress to the office as if you were working from home. Now, some may say, it's just a fun thing. It's just to celebrate. Just to, as they say, to say, pull down your hair and just, have some fun. Somebody out there may say, Femi, you're just so uptight. You cannot even see the fun in this. You cannot even see the joy. You cannot even see the humor in it. This is just to humor every one of us and make us a bit less stressed. Anyway, in this particular video, since employees were allowed to come to work in their work from home outfit, that is to come into work, to resume at work, and dress as if they were working from home. Well, this woman, this lady, then appeared at her workplace in wrapper. For those who may not know what a wrapper is, I suspect everybody should know, but perhaps people who are not from Nigeria, from Africa, may not readily know. That is just tying a cloth around your body. For men, usually the cloth is tied around their waist all the way to the knee. For women, tied around their body, right from the bust, to the knee. And that's just it. And many people dress like that in their homes. And why not? You are right in the comfort of your home, just tie a wrapper, around your body. And well, this lady, this employee, took the HR seriously when the HR said, well, come to work in your work from home outfit. And that's exactly how she appeared. And of course, many people saw this video and said, what exactly is this? I suspect that it was irresistible for our colleagues not to share that video. Somebody commented and said, oh, this is the real work from home. A voice is heard exclaiming in shock, while other staff members looked surprised as the wrapper clad staff made her entrance. Just to begin at the beginning of this process, a company had their workers come to work dressed the way they do when they are working from home, and one staff had everyone in fits of laughter. One female staff came to work wearing a hair bonnet. Others wore casual clothes they would wear at home. However, one staff arrived at work tying a wrapper over her chest. And of course, this got many people talking. Somebody wrote saying, this is a big no for me. Definitely outrageous. Another person wrote, well, I'm naked with just singlet and some unprintable things that I would not want to read out on this program. Somebody wrote saying, oh, she's just being naughty. Another person wrote saying, careful what you ask for, office people. And I think this person makes the point. Careful what you ask for, office people. Somebody else wrote saying, except she's the HR or on that kind of level, I trust Nigerian female HRs. Most of them will beef her, victimize, and look for every excuse to give her a query. I'm not going to dump on the lady who tied a wrapper and went to work, who had the effort to do that. Clearly, that's not something to do. I'm going to focus on the person who came up with the idea in the first place. Come to work dressed as if you were not coming to work. Make it make sense, I would say. And you see, there are deeper issues behind this. This is not just this is not just a HR policy gone wrong issue. It's not just a HR policy gone wrong issue. It's not just an issue of, HR people do too much. It is how these things subtly change the culture. It's how they subtly change the culture, how they subtly normalize things that should not be normalized, how these ideas subtly spread, from place to place. How these ideas spread from place to place. Now that this has gone viral, and you know that we live in a culture where everybody wants to be popular online, everybody wants to become so popular that people are talking about them or talking about their company. They want the video from their office to be the one everybody is sharing online. They want to be known, and before you know it, there is another HR person in another company who is saying to herself, maybe this is what they do. Maybe this is a good idea. I mean, here we are lamenting this. Here we are trying to point out how this is not a wise thing to do. How this could easily go south. But you can be sure that there are some people out there that most likely there are some other HR persons out there who are saying, this appears to be a good thing. Let me see how my own employees will respond to this. And before you know it, it becomes normalized. And before you know it, it becomes not only normalized, but then even abused further than this. And from where I stand, I find it difficult to think of how anyone could dress even more outrageously than this lady who went to work tying a wrapper around her bust and just that, and went to work like that. But we live in a culture where be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for, indeed, because you know what, you will just get it. You just get it. You get it if you're not careful what you are asking for. And this is what the HR in that company actually got when they asked for employees to come in their work from home dress. That's exactly what they got. And behold, this lady coming in a wrapper clad body to work. We're still going to engage with the apologies for that. We're still going to engage with the more important aspect of this, but I want to go to the next story, which, of course, I believe also illustrates the point that we're going to make ultimately here. Obviously, I mean, talking about subtle changes in the culture, it's talking about things people do in the name of work, in the name of their vocation, in the line of duty. Well, now we are learning now of naked private shelves. It is wanting to have a private shelf. I mean, in another era, if you had somebody talking about a private shelf, you would be thinking of, well, maybe a fantastically rich household that is able to have on a permanent basis the services of a chef who is always manning the kitchen. And I mean, in those days would be called the household cook. We call the cook. But anyway, now we are talking about private chefs, and these are not cooks who are retained on a permanent basis, not even on a contractual basis, but people who are just called in from time to time. So maybe when I'm feeling like it and I have the money for it, I'm feeling like it, I don't want to cook, I just make a call to people who have advertised their services as private chefs. Oh, come to my house and, well, cook for me. And I mean, intrinsically, there's nothing wrong in that. It's a capitalist economy where you can pay for whatever you think is of value to you, and nobody will begrudge you for paying for anything you think is of value to you. But now it is being said that these so-called private chefs, of course, most of them ladies, they are going to the homes of, well, single men, or meeting up with men in places that are not their homes, almost like a rendezvous. And to make it even more outrageous, and which will make you really question where the morality of the culture is right now. You know what is happening? We are hearing that female chefs now dress naked while serving as private chefs. Dress naked. And you see, this is also, I mean, just before I leave this headline, let me read it again. Say it's getting crazy. Can we stop? Nigerian chef calls out her female colleagues for dressing naked while serving as private chefs. Before I just leave this, for dressing naked, this is one of the most fascinating use of language, where a person is said to be dressed naked. The person is not dressed. If the person is naked, the person is not, dressed at all. But I can understand this use of language, but because what else are you expected to say here? This story says popular Nigerian chef Tolani Taiwo Oshikoya, also known as Chef T, has called out her female colleagues who dress naked while serving as private chefs. In a recent online post, Chef T expressed her frustration over content creators who expose their bodies to gain viral traction as private chefs. He stated it is, quote, very painful to watch these trends overshadow the hard work of dedicated professionals who receive little or no recognition. Emphasizing that there is dignity in labor, Chef T called for an immediate end to the trend of dressing provocatively while serving food. So this is the trend that this lady has noticed, where online you have many people who market themselves, who offer their services as private chefs. When they are doing promotional videos and content, they dress naked. Well, I'm using that expression as well. When I say dress naked, it is not to. We have to understand what is meant by that colloquial use of language, and not that they are naked, but they are dressed in a way you are not sure whether they are in the process of dressing up or removing their dresses. It was Lagbaja that talented singer who once sang a song like that. I cannot immediately remember how he sang it, but it was I mean, we're talking about maybe 15 years ago, maybe 10, 15. It was denouncing the culture of naked dressing. Again, I'm using that in Nigeria at that time. That was just 10, 15 years ago. So you can imagine what it would have said. Now, it was denouncing, and it was saying to an imaginary lady in that song, he said, look, are you dressing up or you are removing your dress? Because when you come across many people nowadays, you look at them and then you ask yourself, is this person about to put on more, is it about this person about to complete her dressing or about to remove her dress? So at some point, the culture has normalized a certain point where you could just stop putting on additional dresses. And so Chef T is saying that you go online, people trying to market themselves as private chef do not dress fully. They're not fully dressed. So at that point, any wise person must ask himself, what exactly are these people selling? What are they selling? What are they putting on offer? Are you offering your services to be employed as a private chef, or are you offering your body, or you are offering your body as an additional incentive, for people to reach out to you and say, well, I need your service? The same way that same question can be posed, maybe in another way, in engaging with the question, with that story of the lady who went to work, just in a wrapper, in the name of dress from home, come to work in your work from home outfit. You could ask, what exactly those who asked for that, what were they asking for? What did they want to say? What did they want to say? I mean, if you wanted to know how your friend dresses when working from home, you could ask your friend for if all the ladies want to just have fun about it, they could share photographs if they think it's wise, and that the photographs will not get into wrong hands, which will not be advisable as well. But the person who said to them, come to work in your work from home dress, you have to be asking that person, what exactly were you trying to achieve? And that is where the culture really is. And from a Christian perspective, you want to ask yourself, how do we engage with matters like this? There is the matter of modesty and the body. That is clear, beyond and quite obvious. There is the matter of holiness and sensuality, where you find that the more sensual you are, the more the probability that you'll be drawn away from the holiness of God. And you see, the person who said, come to work in your work from home dress, must know that when people are at home, they are dressed in such a way they do not give attention to certain things. For example, you do not give attention to the fact that you will be appearing before, if you were married, for example, that you'll be appearing before other people, people who are not your spouse, people who do not stand in a relationship to you, where you are able to show your body. These are things, and we find that these are really important things. But more importantly, you want to think about the slippery slope. And I always talk about the slippery slope in the culture, and Christians must be really aware of this. That slippery slope. Some things are, this is me, speaking my mind first, and then speaking as much as possible the mind of Christ on this issue. But you probably hear some other people, if they were to defend these things, if they were to defend the come to work in your work from home dressing, or even defend people who apply their trade as private chefs, not dressing as wholesomely as you would expect, you find some people defend them and defend them convincingly as well, and say, look, for the come to work in your work from home dress, just making things easy, just making light of the situation. People are stressed in this office, they just make light of it. But there's something called the slippery slope. The slippery slope is that downward slope, where once you decide to step on that slippery slope, the only way to go is down. It's downward and downward, because once you take one step, you find that it is slippery and you need to stabilize yourself, so you have to take another step forward. but actually downward. The forward will always become downward in a slippery slope. You take another step to stabilize yourself, and then you find that it's still slippery, and to further stabilize yourself you need to take yet another step, and you find it that you go downward. And that's what happens in society that normalizes things like this. And that's the point I want to make. It's society that normalizes things like this as set out on a slippery slope, and the only way to go will be downward. We are called to be wise, to walk circumspectly in this world. So I do not expect, I would say, a Christian HR practitioner to support ideas like this. Do you know why? Because you have to be able to be able to reasonably anticipate the consequences of practices like that. This person wrote, in social media accelerates this. One viral nude shelf or casual Friday in rappers becomes expectation, and that's so true. It becomes expectation. Somebody has done it. A nude shelf has gone viral and continues to be patronized by people who are ready to pay for our services, ostensibly for the food, but and then you see a company where it's called Casual Friday, and ladies are turning out in their wrappers. It becomes expectation. Some people are saying we should do that in our company as well. The company does it, and the person who is not doing it in that company becomes like the exception, becomes the outlier, becomes the person who is not, in quote, who is not the normal person. And you see, and somebody has written there saying data from various societies shows liberalization of sexual display often correlates with higher rates of dissatisfaction, divorce, and mental health issues among youth. And it's so true that once you liberalize this thing and say, look, don't be uptight, and that's how many people will say to Christians who sound a note of caution on things like, say, don't be uptight, you're just too uptight about these things. But you know what, the data clearly shows that as soon as the society liberalizes sexual display and normalizes them and rationalizes them, you're going to find a higher rate of dissatisfaction and mental health issues even in that society. We are called to walk circumspectly in this world, and we are to be witness to unbelievers as well. If Christians shrug it off as well, it's just the culture. It's just the culture evolving, just changes in the culture. Then it signals that we are no different. We are not different. We are called to be different. Many church historians have said that the early church stood out by rejecting Roman sexual norms and emphasizing chastity, fidelity, and order, and that contributed to the appeal of the Christian church. And really, I'm really looking forward to many Christians disavowing this. I do not look forward to Christians also supporting this or being in the number of those who are going to promote this. And talking about what Christians should not promote, what should outrage Christians, there is a story that has been making its rounds on social media. I've deliberately stayed away from that story because I think the lessons in that story are as obvious as could be. And the story of one of the, well, we can't call him up and coming any longer. He's now a well-known name and popularly known as Chike. He's a singer in Nigeria, a handsome-looking young man, you must call him. Anyway, just to summarize the sordid tale, it has come to light that at some point he was carrying on a sexual affair with a married woman. This woman was married, or perhaps still married, I suppose, to another well-known face in the entertainment industry in Nigeria, the man who once anchored the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire quiz, TV quiz series. It came to light that he was having a sexual affair with this lady, and that they had no regret about it. The husband of the lady got to know, obviously confronted him. They did not stop. They carried it on. There was a time in the past when, if something like that should come to light, the people involved will be ashamed, right? They'll be ashamed of themselves and would be remorseful. You would expect the cheating partner to go to the other partner and say, I'm very sorry, I had that sexual affair with this person. You would expect the person who had a sexual affair with a married man or a married woman to also be apologetic and to suffer some consequences in the society for that. You would expect that person to be viewed by the society as, oh, what an undisciplined man, right? What an undisciplined man. What detestable behavior. Anyway, this continues to develop this story, and if you have been following it, I understand that there are many voice notes that have come out about just establishing the fact that Chike and this lady indeed had that sexual affair, that they are not sorry about it. That they're not sorry about it, and of course, because of how the internet age is, you find many people taking sides. There are people who are blaming the husband of the woman and saying, well, he did not pay attention as well, or he was sadistic in his behavior as well. There are people blaming the lady and saying that, oh, she did not live as she did not comport herself as a married woman should. There are many people who are looking at Chike as well and who are saying, well, what's wrong with you? Whatever you do, you don't do that with a married woman, and many other takes like that. But there are also people who are cheering them on, and that's the point I want to make today. There's a story. This one was published quite a while, but maybe about a week ago. It says, a disgusting celebration of home wrecking. Delta State Governor's aide react to videos of ladies rushing for photos with singer Chike at a cinema. So this is what happened. Chike, as I said, has been in the news for carrying on this sexual affair with this married lady, and you would expect, as I said earlier on, that maybe there will be some social consequences to that. But anyway, Chike appeared, according to this story, at a cinema recently, and many ladies rushed to him to take photographs with him. So people citing him and saying, "Oh, that's the Chike who had an affair with Frank Edo's wife." Wow, people rushed to him to hug him, to take pictures with him, to celebrate him. That's the point that this man was making. That's what this man called disgusting. Delta State Governor's aide, Osai Ovie Success, has heavily criticized women who thronged to take photos with singer Chike at a Lagos cinema on Sunday, May 17. The incident occurred amid ongoing public scrutiny surrounding Chike's alleged involvement in a marriage scandal involving media personality Frank Edo, with reports claiming he had a sexual relationship with Frank's now estranged wife, Sandra Edo. In a social media post, Success, that's the media aide, berated the crowd for hovering around Chike and treating him like a hero. He argued that the women should have treated the singer with disgust, stating that their actions openly celebrated and rewarded infidelity. Well, I do hope that your own take on this matter is not far from that. So, again, this is about the culture and normalizing. This is about the culture normalizing sinful behavior. The culture normalizing, in fact, rewarding behaviors that should otherwise be condemned. So maybe there is somebody out there who is saying, "Oh, Chike did it and remained popular." The Chike did this and remained popular. Maybe I can do it and get away with it. That's exactly how the culture changes. Or maybe I should rephrase that. That's exactly what indicates to us that the culture has changed, that the morality of the culture has changed, and it has. The morality of the culture has changed, and we have to face it in our own society as well. But again, we who on the Lord's side must remember that the first call to us is what? Is to come out from among them and be separate. Come out from among them and be separate. And we cannot ever justify being in the number of those who say, well, this person did it and got away with it and suffered no consequence whatsoever. We cannot be in the mode. And Christians are supposed to be even wiser, more profound, to know that when a person says, oh, this person did it and suffered no consequence, you should know that that is not the case. It is not the case that he has not suffered any consequence. We do pray that Chike himself will come to that place where he realizes not only the foolishness and not only the wickedness of his action, but the sinfulness of it as well, and that he comes to repentance, including him and the lady and the husband as well, because it's a sordid tale. Once you hear the different aspects of it, you know that it's a sordid tale, and the sordidness attaching to all the dramatis personnel in that place. It is not the fall itself that is disgusting. It's not the fall that is disgusting. It should be condemned. Everyone should run away from it. It is the celebration of it, right? It is the wallowing in that swamp of death. It is, and the glorification of it that is disheartening and is alarming, and should give an occasion for all of us on the Lord's side to say, no, this is not where we should be. If the culture is going this way, this is not where we should go. This is not where we should go. This is not where we should go. And I do pray that all of us will have the courage to say that as loudly as possible. So 3 stories this morning. The story of that lady who went to work in a wrapper in the name of work from home outfit day. The story of those so-called private chefs who advertise their services dressing as if they were undressing, just in the name of advertising their services. And of course, what do you expect? It's now said that some of the patrons would also ask them to dress in the way that you dress in your videos when you want to cook for me. And then also the story of many fans rushing to Chike and celebrating him and hugging him, treating him like a hero, the man who is an unrepentant adulterer who has said on record that he enjoys having sexual relationships with married women. He has said that on record. He has not been repentant about it, but we find, a sizable number of people celebrating him and treating him like a hero. One of the most instructive statement by our Lord is when he said, "But with you, it should not be so. It should not be so." And I love using that expression, and that is always a good reminder for all of us who are on the Lord's side. First, Paul saying that the first call to us is, come out from among them and be ye separate. And our Lord saying, where the people of the world may do this, the son of this age may do this, but with you, it should not be so. I want to thank you for tuning in this morning. It's a Gospel Best Radio for On the Lord's Side, Christian Perspectives on News and Current Event. I will be with you again tomorrow by the grace of God.